Welcome back to Copa Mexico 6 commentary, guys. So here we are with Viaje Mictlán, and we've got KingstoNe over here, spawning as the light blue Tartars. His opponent today is Romell as the pink trunks Vietnamese player. So it's got more of a purplish tinge to it here in like it actually looks purple, but then it's like a pink color on here. It's very confusing. Maybe I'm just colorblind. I'm finding the one part of the spectrum I've actually got difficulty seeing. So anyway, Tartar's opening. Extra food from herdables, and Castle and Imperial Age actually give more herdables, although that seems pretty irrelevant by then because you're going to be farming. But even still, extra food from herdables is a nice little bonus. A little bit less pressure to have to try and get the most out of nearby huntables. I mean, you're going to go for your boar, but you might not bother going for your deer as such, because they are quite a way away on this map from our players. And one of them's being lured back here, although it's close to 3 deer. On top of that, Tartars. Nice. Archer stat. Civ, because Thumb Ring and Parthian tactics are free. Extra elevation damage. And a good camel. Flaming camel. Ooh. A petard camel. And then we've got over here Vietnamese at Romell's disposal. So Romell has got access to his enemy's starting position through the fog of war. Won't really know much else about it other than that. Attempting to lame a boar at the moment. You can pinch this off KingstoNe, he can get a huge advantage. So KingstoNe won't know about this just yet. Actually, you might have seen on the mini-map, and he's going to try and intercept it, it looks like. So will Romell get home, or will KingstoNe cut him off here? Looks like KingstoNe doing everything he needs to do to defend this. Romell having to be careful to not have the scout get attacked too much by the boar, because if KingstoNe engages on this, he can kill the scout and bring the boar home. It looks like KingstoNe's just going to miss it. So he's got to try and chase now. I don't know if he was deliberately overshooting to cut his opponent off, or because Romell's actually got a micro this whole time to slow himself down so he doesn't run outside the boar leash range. So KingstoNe can try and steal this, but he's sort of gone up the wrong path. And now he'll be able to intercept Romell, it seems. Oh, and Romell losing the scout. He's going to try and go for the boar, but it'll be too late. So KingstoNe's successful defense there. I was going to say, Romell, amazing Archer Civ. Eco upgrades don't cost any wood. Archer units in general are stronger, 20% extra HP, and they have access to that Rattan Archer. And paper money, where lumberjacks generate gold alongside the wood. Most of the games in this tournament have been quite hard and fast. Our players very aggressive early on a lot of the time. I'll have to see if that's the case in this one, although they do have some good late game civs here. Enemies access to Imperial scams, so very late game trash for them. Great conscription as well. KingstoNe. Yeah. Good overview of all the unique text, guys. But a barracks now. So Romell, is he going to put the pressure on with man-at-arms? With militia, sorry. He's going to start gathering early gold, so it looks like he is. KingstoNe has that scout advantage, so Romell's not going to know if Kingston is expanding onto this second set of wood or anything like that. He's not going to know about when his barracks is going up either. So Kingston does have that vision advantage at his disposal. So Kingston aging up. Romell, his age up going to be delayed. Oh no, Romell's going to be aging up now. So Kingston aging up slightly faster than him. Kingston now adding a barracks. A little bit more in the bank than Romell, so he'll be able to go straight towards the stables and start pumping out more scouts behind the age up here. In fact, he's going to opt for a range. The Man-at-Arms coming into raid, while Kingston continuing to scout Romell's base, seeing the range go up as well. Double range production here for Romell versus single for Kingston, and Kingston not adding any spears just yet, or any man-at-arms, he's just adding archers. Romell getting man-at-arms upgrade for his militia, and he's going to start archer production soon. Ooh, some tricky building there here from Kingston. Romell going to have to retreat with the man-at-arms for now. I mean, he's getting double archer production, and they're going to have an insane amount of health. And 3 man-at-arms. It's going to force Kingston to have to play a bit defensively and get a lot of palisade wall up initially, which Romell's has the option of skipping this early on. Kingston going to go for earlier armory upgrades than his opponent with the double archer production here. So Romell with unit advantage, but armor blacksmith upgrade disadvantage. Kingston actually going to add skirms after his archers, so he can actually chip away at his opponent's archers quite quickly. Mixed archer ball tends to be just a little bit more versatile because it's good against both infantry and range, as opposed to just heavy archers, which is only really good against infantry. So we've got to move out with the archers here from Romell, who's now up to the 6 or 7 of them. Kingston, that Tata player, surrounding with the skirms, and he's got really good damage against the archers. He's going to have to use the archers well against the man-at-arms, because the skirms aren't so solid against those. But now, Romell having to back off because he really only has the bigger archer ball on his side, and he needs to wait till he gets some double skirm production to really tip the scales back in his favour again. But here we go, he should be able to start taking a solid fight here. Army counts are roughly even in the archers. For Kingston getting sniped there, so Romell now has the advantage while he's still sending some bows to go and harass his opponent. The skirm be skirm. And Romell with some nice micro there, but there's a unit advantage in favour of Kingston. Well, now it's in favour of Romell, it looks like. Romell, Kingston, Romell, Kingston. So, armory upgrades here. I mean, not armory, eco upgrades here for our Vietnamese player behind us. Couple bit axe, good for his eco. He's trying to harass once again with all the archers. There's a bit of a gap into Kingston's base here, and he's going to deny gold. So if Romell can deny gold, he makes it very hard for Kingston to transition to castle or keep pointing out archers right now. Another range here for Kingston. And he's repelled Romell for the moment. Villager counts favouring KingstoNe though. Romell been pop capped a couple of times and has a few idlers here. Needs to really cancel these palisades and throw up a house there. So KingstoNe just eco macroing up a little bit better than his opponent here, and bit of an overstep there by Romell. And KingstoNe micro against the enemy skirms, picking off another one. And now Romell's finding he's going to have to back off a little bit. Even with a slight military advantage, he needs to bring everything together and start picking off some of KingstoNe's units in favourable numbers. Because right now KingstoNe, this main army ball, is picking off all these straggler harass skirms. Oh, and that's a nice shot. Got an archer going down for a skirm. So nice trade there by KingstoNe, even though he does lose the skirm in the end. But now Romell's going to be able to pressure the wood line, so KingstoNe's going to have no choice but to retreat. He doesn't really have a rear side one, he's just going to have to get all the way over here, or try and keep these guys alive through this. KingstoNe, Romell having another little melee up here, but it looks like KingstoNe going to come out on top on this one. And Romell's just struggling with getting house and actually getting the food he needs to continue his villager production to this. He's going to get Castle Age on the way though. Well, KingstoNe hasn't started his yet, but KingstoNe much more continuous villager production here, and he's all the way up to 42 to 31. So slight slip up in macro here for Romell is really costing him, because his harass otherwise has been very solid, but he has lost a couple of skirmishes now. And now KingstoNe really able to start harassing his opponent, forcing quick palisade wall off. Doesn't really want to dive under the town centre if he can help it though. Archer versus skirm, and it's actually in a reasonable number for the archers to take the fight, but they're going to have to micro well. Now they're going to have to retreat. KingstoNe working down Romell's archers, so Romell having to back off. He sort of didn't take the nice initial engagement, and so the skirms, with their bonus to the archers, archers and anti-infantry ranged, have to back off. So KingstoNe now getting Castle Age, but the Vil gap is going to be about 11 or 12 once he's got this. So Romell struggling for the eco, needs to get a second town centre out if he can. Figure out some way of cleaning up the skirmisher army, whether it's cavalry or siege. KingstoNe seems to have surrounded the archers once again, so he'll pick off another couple of these with his skirmisher ball. Romell with a lot more archers now out of the barracks, but again, he doesn't want these guys getting caught, because it only takes 5 or 6 skirms to take a good fight against 8 archers. And that's what happened last time. Here we go. So, crossbowmen now. And they're going to fare a little bit better against the skirmishers, but once the skirmishers get their upgrade, which KingstoNe is not far off castle, and he's going to get wheelbarrow behind this as well. Once they do get their Castle Age upgrades, they'll close the gap again, and our friend Romell will really have to look at getting other units out here to try and counter the mixed skirm archer comp from his opponent. Oh, so Romell trying to get another villager here. Not going to be able to. So villager gap is 10 at the moment, but the second town centre on the way here for both players. Oh no, for Romell. KingstoNe hasn't got one on the way yet, so Romell can potentially catch up in this villager gap here. Picking off another villager there, so the gap's only 9. Elite skirmisher finishing up, so these guys are going to fare a bit better against the crossbows, but there's just too many of them for them to actually win this trade. There's now knights in the mix as well, so KingstoNe This mass ranged army is going to have to be able to pick off such a tanky melee cavalry unit. The one knight actually overstepping the mark there, trying to engage on his own, not even able to get to the archer ball or crossbow. Finishing up now for KingstoNe. So he can take this fight. He's got a couple of skirms, he's got the bigger number of archers at the moment. And so Romell having a retreat once again. University on the way for Romell. Second town centre on the way for KingstoNe. KingstoNe dropping a couple of skirms, but he's also picking off a whole bunch of crossbows right now. Romell has a bigger crossbow count at the moment though. So Vil count still slightly favouring KingstoNe, 49 to 40 at the moment. Military favouring Romell, but he's got them all garrisoned up for the moment. He doesn't want to engage till he gets a couple more out and tries to get some harass onto KingstoNe. More villagers going down for Romell though. That's a big blow because now he's down by 14 vills. So he's going to return the favour, pick off a couple of KingstoNes. Just managed to avoid to stay outside the town centre. So it will start to thin out his crossbow count if he's not careful. Romell adding a workshop. KingstoNe just chilling for the moment, adding some skirms. Romell up to the 7 crossbowmen there. Romell trying to find a way onto KingstoNe's farms, and they're undefended, so he should be able to get a bit of value out of this. KingstoNe again denying Romell's wood line. So Romell going to start picking off food gatherers here, but there are some skirmishes in the mix. These guys are going to take a reasonable trade here and pick off a good number of the crossbows, force Romell to flee, while Romell has a mangonel to try and deal with the crossbowmen, and he picks off a couple of them, but a nice split there. And repairs. Wow, that's a nice shot there for KingstoNe. I mean for Romell, killing all of KingstoNe's crossbows. So manages to clean up that army really well there, but KingstoNe has a solid Vil advantage at 62 to 39. There's 3 town centres to the 2 here at the moment. So even though Romell had the quicker second town centre, he's not going to have the quicker third town centre. KingstoNe already has a bit of an eco lead from all the harass as well. So Romell having to get a fuckload of wood and put a lot of it into farms at the moment. His distance gathering really slowing down his eco as well. KingstoNe, things are a bit more calm and collected over his side of the map at the moment. 71 to 39. The villager counts, military counts actually slightly favouring Romell for the moment, but KingstoNe already got a lot of these units low. There's plenty of skirms to clean up the crossbows. It's really only the mangonel that's going to be an issue for him here. As the skirm's not going to be so well against it, but now they don't actually have anything to take them on. So they might actually be able to trade well against the mangonel here. Because 1 crossbow for a mangonel is a really nice trade. And that's exactly what's going to happen there. KingstoNe with a nice snipe. So Romell, undefended crossbowmen. Cav just can't quite fight against them in lower numbers, so they're going to have to be very careful there. Between the 2 town centres, it's be a tough fight for Romell to stick around in, because he's been surrounded now by skirms. This is rough for him. He needs to micro extremely well here to get through this. But KingstoNe's able to range on range kite him through this. Well, the skirms are just absolutely bleeding the crossbowman count now. So KingstoNe, a lot of value out of this, and he's still up by a town center. Here we go, a third town center now for Romell, but he's down by 32 bills. He's lost all that ranged army. Still committing with the heavy crossbow production, but between knights and skirms, it shouldn't actually be a tough fight for KingstoNe. The knights can really just tank, although skirms trade really well into the crossbowmen on cost. Crossbows do have a really nice move command animation though. Like attack move command animation though, sorry. Have archers slightly tankier than them. Benefit of being horseback, they've always got slightly bigger health pools. There's quite a good number of cavalry here for KingstoNe now, so it's looking rough for Romell because now he's really struggling for the wood. He's up to 3 town centers, so that Vil gap's no longer widening. Needs to be able to get on the gold here. Knight out in the field. KingstoNe's got plenty out to defend against it. KingstoNe pop cap for the minute, but he's up to 115 pop. Romell GG. KingstoNe takes the game.